Hello. I'm walking to my haircut. Look at my cute cowl. Why, yes, it is 29 degrees outside. Thanks for asking. But welcome to Vlogmas Day 11.
Okay, a little bit late today, but we are rolling the dice to see what gift I should work on. Right, we're trying again because it fell off the desk. 19. Focus, would you? Very close to a critical hit, but we're going shawl. Hello! Okay, it's about 3 p.m. now, and as you saw from my B-roll, I got my hair cut. Really pleased with it. I wanted a change, so we did bangs because I was sick of my forehead. That's what I told my hairstylist. And yeah, then a few more layers, just like fun. I just want to like shake it and mess it up, and it still looks kind of cool. That's what I wanted. Also, I'm working on the lighting because I keep going into edit and I can't believe the color balance and lighting that I've got. But I have a window in front of me, but it's been so gray. And you know, it's 3 p.m. so it's sunset. Why does the sun set at 3 p.m.? But I also have a lamp that is also a ring light, and it has different color temperatures, and I use the soft white. I really prefer like a dark, soft white kind of light in my office when I'm working, but it doesn't work so well for filming. So I've switched it to daylight, and it's already looking better to me. Like things are not looking like 17 different colors of light because my overhead light is also daylight, and then my lamp over here is soft white or even yellower. So it's like a warmer white. Color temperature. I went to film school and everything. I really did. I should be better at this. But I was a screenwriting major, so they didn't let us touch the lights that often. Anyway, to knitting. The dice chose for me 2 days in a row, which is great because I'm really having fun working on it. My Venezia shawl. Look, this is my progress keeper I put on yesterday. Look how much I've done. So it is growing, you know, like any shawl. It's a little shawl beard. The Venezia shawl by Joji Locatelli. It's a great single skein shawl pattern. There are instructions in the pattern for when to weigh your yarn to know if you're going to have enough, because it's intended for a single skein, but everyone's gauge is different. Everyone's yarn might be different, even though it's all supposed to be fingering weight. It's also a shawl, so gauge doesn't matter. So she gives you info of when to weigh your yarn, so you can tell if you should start decreasing or if you're going to have enough yarn to finish all the sections she prescribes. So that's really awesome. I'm also knitting this on a size, it recommends a size US 7. I'm knitting it on a size US 6 because my US 7s in my metal needles are occupied. And I figured it's fine. And it looks nice. I'm really loving, yeah, it's not the most visible in this yarn, but it's this nice, there you can see it a little bit better. It's this pretty diamond shape lace pattern. It's not quite memorizable for me. Like it's an 18 row pattern and I haven't memorized it, and I don't think I will, but it's a super, super easy chart because it's only the first few stitches of each row. And then we're working in a twisted rib. Yeah, so the yarn is Dreaming in Color Smooshy Cashmere, and it is incredibly smooshy. So that's that for my project update. It did, you know, getting the dice, I mean, casting on is always a great way to motivate myself. I feel like maybe this is a controversial knitting opinion. I hate casting on. I always want to cast on, but the prospect of doing the cast on and counting stitches and making sure I have enough stitches, I hate. It really is a barrier for me to starting new projects. So a good way to get myself to not have 7,000 projects going at once is knowing that I have to cast on. Of course, with a shawl, it started from the very tippity top. So the cast on part wasn't hard, but then you're like really paying attention to the setup and kind of getting into the flow of the pattern. And that attention required at the beginning of the pattern is sometimes a barrier for me, so I don't do it. But anyway, so getting it cast on, getting it started, and forcing the dice to pick just gifts did really help me focus, and maybe I'll get some of these gifts done. We will see. Yeah, so the rest of my day, I went to my hair appointment, as you saw, and then my husband and I met up at this fantastic lunch place near us that makes ridiculous sandwiches. We split two so we could try one half of each. It was still way too much sandwich, but I ate it all. One was a turkey with like a Brussels sprout slaw and some pear, very tasty. And then the other one was a squash sandwich. Yes, you heard that right. And it had pickled jalapenos and a creamy kale, almost salad that they put on it. Delish. So I'm stuffed, but it was really nice to go out on a weekday and have lunch. And then I've been doing I had to do some admin, I keep saying admin, like adulting things, like insurance and stuff. And then I had a little bit of my freelance job to do because I got some work there. And yeah, this afternoon, looking to get out of this office again. I've spent more time than I intended. I've got to take the dog for a walk, but the weather looks crappy. It's been getting crappier and crappier as the day went on. I'm glad I got my long walk in this morning. We're gonna go to the gym, do some heavy back squats. Very excited. Haven't back squatted in a while. I know it's very strange that I'm coming here and like, hey, let's talk about writing and knitting, but also back squats. But you know, we all contain multitudes. Oh yeah, I put this at the end of yesterday's video, but I just sat down yesterday afternoon and beat the rest of Pokemon Scarlet, which I've been working on just so that I could get a Screamtail, which is a crazy ancient version of Jigglypuff that they put in that because I love Jigglypuff and I didn't know that was part of the game, so we had to get the game and then I had to play the whole thing in order to get my Screamtail. So I did that, which took way longer than I thought it would, so that's what I spent half the evening doing, and I spent the rest of the evening knitting. Let's get cracking on some Advent. We are on day 11, and I have to just take a moment because this is one of my favorite books of all time, forever, times a million. Ooh. Also, this is cheating, but I'm pretty sure the color is green, and you're gonna understand why it's cheating when I open it or tell you what the book is. Well, I was wrong. So here it is. Yeah, it's just this very kind of light peachy color. And it's not at all what I thought it would be because this is Anne of Green Gables. And so I was expecting it to be greener. We're about to get to the kind of green section of the rainbow. I feel very surprised. Sorry, we just had the biggest and slowest plane going right overhead, so I had to stop because I knew you'll probably hear it at the end of the last clip too. So loud. But yeah, Anne of Green Gables. So yeah, this is one where I can definitely see that the colors are coming from kind of versions of the books than always the like exact book themselves, because I know this story really well and I mean, any color can be found in any book, but I'm not seeing the clear correlation where if this was more of a green that would come through. But I have to just say, Anne of Green Gables was my book when I was a kid. I want to say I read it when I was 9 or 10. So I tried to read Mark Twain's Tom Sawyer at age 8 because I had seen the Jonathan Taylor Thomas movie. And age 8 is a little young to understand the literary skill and satire of Mark Twain. So I thought it was extremely boring. But my mom could see that I was interested in books in that realm, so she got me Anne of Green Gables, which I loved. Just the character of Anne and her imagination, the way that she describes things, and the way the words Ellen Montgomery puts in her mouth really, I think, inspired me to want to be a writer. I wanted to imagine things. I wanted to tell stories. You know, I wanted to have my friends send me floating out into a river like some sort of heroine of old. So yeah, I have read that book at least 20 times, if not more. I read it many, many times as a child. And then my mom tried, similarly, I think when I was 10 or 11, to get me into Little Women. And I was still just a little bit too young for kind of the coming of age story there. So I also love that book. That was our day 6. That I've always kind of liked that classic chick lit. And Anne of Green Gables was really the start of that. So very special book to me. Maybe as I'm talking about it, I think like if Avonlea were like a color, you know, like I'm thinking of like the Snow Queen, the way she describes the trees and the lilies on the pond. Like, I think the town would have a lot of this kind of like taupe, peachy cream in it, but Green Gables would maybe be a bit more green. All right, here we go. Anne of Green Gables on there. It does look just very classy. It's a very classy addition to this fade. Okay, and for the rest of the day, I'm gonna continue playing with my hair because I'm very excited about it. Gotta take the dog for a walk. Gonna go to the gym, gonna get my writing done. Probably not in this room because I need to stop hanging out in here until I have to work all day. Oh yeah, and I added into my B-roll, and I'm not super religious, but I do have that. You probably saw my regular kind of nativity calendar that's plush, and kind of your standard nativity calendar, which is the one we had as a child. And a few years ago, my mom got one for me and my brother. So I'm not at all religious. That's about the only kind of Christianity thing that I have in my house, but it's a nostalgia thing to have my childhood Advent nativity calendar. So I thought I would throw that in as part of, you know, all the Adventing and Christmasing today.
It's so much colder than it was this morning. The wind is really kicked up. Had to break out my even warmer knits. Nice blue skies though. The weather is so weird this afternoon. These are my garden beds in the backyard, and we got little mini hail. We had like a little hailstorm. These are little icy guys. Yeah, little icy hail guys. So weird. It's very cold.